Good morning, everybody. Good morning. TGIF. Yes, I see they're just saying goodbye over on Kilsey, and perfect timing. Wow, wow, wow. Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. So, I get set up here. There we are. We'll get to the important stuff, which is drink it if you got it. Oh, wow. Thank you, Mark Whistler, for this coffee cup, which has the old guy face on the other side. Always enjoy it. So how's everybody this morning? Get rid of this, and here we are. Here we are. Wait for people to get here. 37 of you so far. 41 there. Folks, they're pouring in. Watch out you don't get run over in the stampede. Maybe another sarcasm there. Oh, this was a rare morning for me. My alarm clock woke me up at 6. I usually end up waking up an hour before it, but for some reason, I must have needed to sleep. I want to thank everybody for being at the live stream last night. We had a great time. A great time. Kilsley had said he would try to show up, but evidently he couldn't make it. But I appreciate the effort anyway, and we'll have him on there, or maybe as a guest on my show one morning, and talk about all this nonsense he's going through. Wow. Anthony says cigar page. I don't know why you put that up there. It's the place where I'm buying my cigars these days, a site called cigarpage.com. I think it's become the cheapest and best place to get really good cigars. Should any of you be interested? And maybe a few of you are, like Greg Smith. Greg gave me the tip. I saw Greg chimed in this morning. Hi, Greg. Man, the deals coming from that place are unbelievable. And me, like a kid in a candy store. Yesterday, I went on Amazon and bought a new humidor, one of those little cooler type humidors. It's about the size of a mini fridge and holds hundreds of cigars. So that when when these deals come up, I'll have someplace to put them where I can keep them properly. I had one like that years ago, up until about 2 years ago. But after like 10 years of me having it, it stopped working because it's electric. And it has a little bit of cooling in it, too. At any rate, I don't know why you said cigar page, Anthony, but good reminder. Good reminder. I need to get going here this morning. My voice isn't quite up to snuff yet. Maybe I need to do like the performers and singers do before they go on, as they, me, la, 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 do all the stretching and voice exercises before. Or maybe just get a little coffee in me. Even though this is decaf, and my first cup of the day is decaf. Who is first this morning? Because I tried something this morning. I want a little experiment. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. Instead of creating this live stream last night, I waited until this morning when I got up, and then I created it. So there wasn't any chat. Wasn't any chat in there before the stream started, or at least not more than a half hour. And I wanted to see if it had any effect on more people seeing it in their feed, in their recommended feed, than did before. Based on the initial viewership here this morning, it's a typical Friday morning. Friday is always slower than every other day, and I don't see any big difference. So I guess it doesn't matter. So I'll probably keep doing it the night before. First one in today, Mike Seeley, Melbourne. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you. Followed by Greg Smith, out there on the road. Wow, Greg, we got to get together someday and compare our favorite cigars. I found a lot of new favorites lately. Next is Tuka from Finland. Good morning, Tuka. How you doing? And Lucy Work, good morning to you. Lizzie's here. How you doing, Lizzie? And Tuka says almost there. And at 7 a.m., Robbie, Autry, you did it this morning. Congratulations, my friend. 7 o'clock. I don't see Lambs. Maybe Lambs slept in this morning. Peter's here. Hiya, Peter. How you doing? And Brenda McIntyre. Happy Friday, everyone. Lori's here. We missed you last night, Lori. Hope your karaoke went well. Hope you had a good time. Tracy Thompson. Good morning, Tracy. How you doing? Rick's still saying good morning. Michael Pregler. How you doing, Michael? Good to see you. Melissa, good morning. Good morning to you. And Tracy Thompson is here from soon to be icy Western North Carolina. Yeah, I've been watching the weather. I've been watching that storm coming across. Oh, it's going to be something. Stay safe, everybody. Stay safe. Dress warm. Thomas, Target Prime Rib is here. Good morning to you. And Louis Latino was the big winner. The big winner over on Kilts. Boy, I think you're probably the champion over there. You probably have the most prizes. Well, good morning, Louis. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Who else do we have that I haven't said hi to? Danny Ardoin. Good morning, Danny. How are you? Good morning. And this is R. Pierce. Ron, I think. How you doing? Good morning to you. Bill Cook is here. And we're getting into it. Wayne Herman from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. Hi, Wayne. How are you? How you doing this morning? And Aaron is here. Good morning, Aaron. Good morning. How you doing? Barry. Good morning, Barry. How you doing? Good morning, Mitch. And all from a balmy Massachusetts at 23. Yeah. Wow. Well, I think we got a little room in Florida left, Larry, if you'd like to move here. It's selling out fast, though. Tammy's here. Good morning, Tammy. How are you doing? Butch Knapp, good morning to you. David is here. Desonier. How are you? Good to see you this morning, David. I think we're getting down there. Question, Mitch. I know you have a good supply of ribeyes. How often do you eat them? I tend to eat one every other day, alternating with ground beef and with eggs for the main meal. That's probably a great thing to do every other day. Lately, I don't know why. I have a supply of ribeyes, but I don't know why. I don't know why. I tend to be maybe only eating them once or twice a week and relying mostly on just mass quantities of bacon, eggs, burger patties, chicken thighs, and salmon fillets. I don't think there's any rhyme or reason to it. There's no thought put into it. No thought. I don't even plan ahead. Maybe the night before I might take something out of the freezer, and if I hadn't, I'll cook it frozen in the air fryer. I have 2 salmon fillets in my refrigerator that I put in there last night to thaw, and I'll have them today, probably with eggs. And then if I need any more food after the first meal, I'll take a frozen burger patty or 2 and throw them in the air fryer and cook them up. And it's been working great for me. And I've never wanted for anything. I've never felt deprived. I'm never, ever hungry. I had one meal yesterday, and that one meal was lunch with my son. And I got back about 1 o'clock. I certainly haven't eaten since. Could care less. Not hungry. No thoughts of sugar plum fairies filling my head. No cravings. And about 1 or 2 o'clock today, I will make myself those 2 salmon fillets, probably fry them in a pan in butter, maybe 5 or 6 eggs, and that's probably all I eat today. I'm not losing weight, maybe very, very slowly, because I did put weight on since I had my stroke, and I've lost some of it already, and it's all, believe me, all around the middle. But I'm not conscientiously trying to lose it or lose it in a hurry. I was weighing 135, 130. I know that sounds obscene, does it? 135 or 136 back when I was really working out, looking great, and beginning to build muscle. Right now, I weigh 142 pounds, which by anybody's standards for 5'10", they would say that I'm way too skinny. But that's my body type, my build, my skeletal structure is very thin. And my ideal weight, I still have a little subcutaneous fat that I can pinch, and I feel the best. So I'm at 142 now. Maybe I'll get down to 139, 140. I'm not trying. I have no goals, no targets. My philosophy on weight loss is forget about it. Throw away the scale anyway. It's not something that we easily can manipulate. Too many things going on in the body. And we tend to focus on the weight and the appearance aspect of when we should be focusing on the health aspect. So I don't know how we got off into this from a question that says how many ribeyes do you eat a week, but not too many, which makes carnivore so friggin' cheap. Most days I don't come near spending $10 for food. Honestly, most days. 6 eggs, $2 at the most, because I buy those flats of 18 eggs from Sam's Club for $5 and change. So 1/3 of those is 6 eggs, less than $2. Half a pound of bacon, I buy 4 pounds of bacon for $20. That makes it about $5 a pound. Half pound of bacon, $2.50. $2.50 for bacon, $2 for eggs, and that would be enough. If I throw a burger patty in there or 2 burger patties, it's another buck or two. The burgers are $5 for 3 patties. How can you eat cheaper than that? You can't go out to the store and buy a big bag of Doritos cheaper than that. I'm so tired of people. We don't have to dine on lobster and ribeye all the time. In fact, you won't even want to when you really get into this. As long as you're eating plenty of fat, you got it made. Most of that carnivore is still expensive propaganda comes from vegans anyway, who spend a hell of a lot more on their food than we do. Have you seen the prices of produce in a supermarket lately? We don't come close, I don't think. It's nuts. It's nuts. But propaganda will always be propaganda. Jerry Voitush, thank you very much, Jerry. Bought me a coffee this morning. Appreciate that. If you'd like to do the same, the link is in the description here. I appreciate it. Always do. So I've been running these videos lately, and I've discovered that trashing our healthcare system is a very popular subject. So popular that I got 140,000 views on the first video where I said I wasn't going to have a physical, an annual physical. Let me clarify again. I'm not saying that I'll never go see a doctor or I'll never need a doctor or ever take a doctor's advice or can't get sick. That wasn't the intention of that video. It was the treadmill they got us on. And the annual physical in most cases is just a fishing expedition and an opportunity for them to get their hands on you and scare the shit out of you. Misinterpret so many blood tests, send you down past more tests, more doctor's visits, specialist visits, and unneeded prescriptions, which cause more problems. Maybe better. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There are certain things, and I keep saying this, that I think it pays to have proactive testing done. A colonoscopy, for example. A few different blood tests would be good to have, but the problem is your doctor won't order them, but you can order them. If you're worried about or fall for all this cholesterol nonsense, and if you're unhealthy metabolically, you might be wise to fall for the cholesterol propaganda. It's probably true that having a very bad HDL to triglycerides ratio, being 100 pounds overweight, and having high LDL can be very harmful to you because so much of your LDL in that metabolic state is going to be small, dense particles, which are the ones that can cause the inflammation that causes the trouble. So the advice that you give a healthy person, which is only 10 or 15% of us in this country, shouldn't be taken by people that aren't metabolically healthy. So if you're in the process of just starting carnivore and you've got a lot of weight to lose and you're a diabetic and you're having all autoimmune diseases, well, maybe you do need that statin. Not that it does any good. What you really need is to get metabolically healthy. That's the only way to fix it. The drugs don't fix it. The drugs are an excuse for them to get rich. The annual physicals are an excuse for them to sell you this stuff. And when all those comments on those videos, I got to tell you, it was like almost 100%. Yeah, and let me tell you what had happened to me, is what they said. I also put up a video about having kidney disease misdiagnosed. which is true. It's true, and it happens all the time. And a lot of people get the shit scared out of them, and that's unfortunate. And a lot of people go for treatments they don't need because they're healthy. They're not among the unhealthy. When you're metabolically healthy, different rules apply, and you got to be cognizant of that. I suggest that people get colonoscopies because some conditions are sneaky, and colon cancer is sneaky. It's slow, and it has almost no symptoms until it's becoming dangerous. We do have some technology. We have wonderful medical technology. We can bring people back from having their heart stop. In trauma cases, it's amazing just how many people's lives they saved. I have nothing but praise, kudos, and admiration for trauma doctors, emergency room doctors. Would go so far as to say I've had my life saved, or at least bigger problems saved by emergency rooms. Now, sometimes they don't always give you the attention you need. They certainly didn't when I had my head injury, which eventually led to a stroke, I think, after the surgery. But if I ever have a problem, get in a car accident, get broken up into little pieces, there's no place I'd rather be than somewhere in the vicinity, somebody with a needle and thread and plaster cast material. And when I broke this wrist a number of years ago and fell off a lot, yes, I know I'm accident prone, but when I broke my wrist, I had a perfect emergency room experience, and they referred me to what might be the best hand surgeon in the state of Florida. This kid was on the ball. And the emergency room did what they did. They stabilized it. They put it taped it up so it would be in the right place. My wrist was shattered in 5 places, and scheduled outpatient surgery for me a week later when the swelling went down. I went in, had the surgery, went to physical therapy for it, and my wrist is perfect nowadays. As a matter of fact, I asked the doctor, do I need to worry? Do I need to kind of treat that wrist lightly? They put a plate and 5 screws in there, and I have a metal plate in my wrist now, so I have to let them know, now I don't fly anymore and don't go through TSA. But one time I did, and I told them I have a metal plate in my wrist. And sure enough, it set off the metal detector. But the doctor assured me that my previously broken left wrist is probably twice as strong now because of the way it healed and the metal plate as my right wrist. So he said, just be more careful with your right wrist now. You don't break it too. So that was a great experience. And I've had some very successful experiences, as many of us had. But that was not what the medical system has become today. And that seems like a very hot topic to make YouTube videos about. I was really surprised. It shocked me. I got oh, look at that. Got another coffee. I got a coffee from David Saunier, and that's what D. Saunier means. His last name is Saunier, but it's spelled with an I-E-R, and what he made his handle D. Saunier because you pronounce it the same. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate that. Bought me a coffee this morning. Nice of you. David was on last week on one of our evening live streams. A great guy. I've known him for a couple of years. Hope to see him again on there. Was a good guest. So at any rate, put QQQ in the chat if you have a topic or a subject you want to steer the discussion to. Let me see what y'all are talking about here. Peter's here. Can you believe the smell of how small the pineapples got, says Aaron. Never thought of that. Never thought of that. When did we start talking about pineapples? It's something I haven't seen here. And DS111 says, he's talking to David. Says, last week, I bought a 20-pound ribeye slab from Costco with a $60 discount from $308 to $240. Wow. How many steaks did you get out of it? 20 pounds? You cut them about 1.25 inches. You get somewhere between 15 and 20 steaks for $240. Could be worse. Could be worse. I don't see any questions here. I'm looking. I think I just come in here and talk and let you guys just do whatever you want. Pay attention or not. It's worked out better for me. Less aggravating. I don't feel like I'm being ignored. If nothing else, I've unlocked the classroom door so the kids can come in and throw spitballs at each other. You know, that's a service too, I suppose. Weather is warm this week. Here's a question from Jerry Voitish. Question, are you looking forward, right here, are you looking forward to your trip to the other side of the state? It's a great question, Jerry. Great question. Yes, it's been a year, almost. I had my stroke 2 weeks after last year's appearance there. And just for fun. Well, here, let me do this. Let me show you this, because this was last year. Wrong button. This was me last year at the my first time ever as a speaker at an event. I'm supposed to do this, and he said, talk for 5 minutes. And I said, let's see if I can turn it up a little bit. Where's the volume here? I've never been able to finish a thought less than an hour, and if nobody stops me, it just keeps going. And anybody who watches me on YouTube, that was me 2 weeks before my stroke. Are my favorite clips. The rabbit holes. The one thing I'm not, though, it makes me feel a little pregnant, pardon the expression, in this room, is I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. That was my first. That was my first public speaking event in front of, and there was a couple hundred people there. It was quite a big meetup. So I won't bore you with the whole speech. The single most curious. Well, that was 2 weeks before my stroke. 2 weeks. Now I'm going back. It's about a three and a half hour drive for me. The longest drive I have taken since I had my stroke was to my dentist in Orlando, which is about an hour drive. I'm up for it, but of course, it's going to be a series of new firsts for me. So I'm a little bit nervous about it. Am I going to get stuck in traffic for 8 hours out there without the physical ability really to camp out, because of, I'm limited in my energy and mobility. So if everything goes right, I'll drive over. I plan on driving over early I want to go over I want to leave here just at the end of the morning rush hour because I got to drive through some incredibly populated areas. I have to drive through Orlando. I have to drive around Tampa. I have to be on highways that are usually jammed up for hours in the rush hour. Interstate 4, Interstate 75. I got to drive through all of Sarasota to get way out there to the beach where Kiltz lives. I did it last year, so I know what the drive is. It's a long, rough drive, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm up to it. If I thought it was at all risky or dangerous, I wouldn't do it. It won't be any more risky or dangerous than it is at any time, or no matter what the driver's health is. In fact, I like to think that maybe I'm quite a bit better than a lot of drivers out there, especially after a lifetime of being a pilot and flying very complex machinery. And being situationally aware, like most non-pilots never understand. So I always know, I scan constantly. I always know who's behind me, who's alongside of me. It's just a habit I've gotten into for years. Then I'm going to be away from home. So I got to say, what do I need that I'm dependent on because of the stroke and the recovery? I better make sure I take it with me. And will I overdo it? Will I overtire myself? Kelsey is got a room for me at his house, so I'll have a room. So I'm hoping to get a good night's sleep. But the short answer to it's already too late for that. But the answer to the question, Jerry, is I still have some reservations about it, but I'm going to do it. I want to do it. I have to try to get back to normal. I have to try to get back to normal because in one respect, I lost a year of my life. In another respect, I learned so much and appreciate the little things that we have so much more than when I took all that for granted. And we tend to take it for granted. We tend to take our mobility for granted. We see a handicapped person, for example, in a wheelchair, or somebody suffering to walk with a cane. And what most of us say to ourselves, there, but for the grace of God, go I. But we really never admit the possibility that might happen to us. Those kind of things only happen to other people. And we can be compassionate, but we feel lucky. That wasn't me. Well, then it is you. It's life altering. I don't know how else to say it. Nothing else in my entire life that I ever did changed my life so much, so fast, than having a stroke. Not a car accident, not even having a child born. Nothing changed my outlook. That might be my age. So, count you truly. I don't care if you're religious or not. I use the word blessing to mean the positive things in your life. Count them. Count them and do whatever you can. Be a little more careful. Take fewer risks so you don't. And stay healthy. Stay healthy. We're so busy chasing money in this world. We forget how valuable our own health is. Because I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if your name is Elon Musk. You get a stroke tomorrow, become paralyzed. I'm sorry. I've met some fabulously wealthy people that are paraplegics. Their quality of life is not what they would think they could have had if they had their health. Maybe a little less money, and more health. So we're on the right track, money or not. Yeah, you need money to eat, but that's not the most important thing. And what good is money if you're not around to spend it? You just leave it to your kids, who more than likely will piss it away anyway. It's about money most of the time. The easier it comes, the less valuable it seems to be for you. And a big inheritance is probably the easiest way money ever comes to anybody. Unfortunately, I never got one of those. I had to dig and scrape for all mine, and that's just life. That's just life. I saw another question here way back, and scrolled away from it. Where was the question? Let me do this. Let me do my F3 trick. F3, Q, Q, Q. And there you go. I know you have a good supply of ribeyes. Got that one. Next one is, are you looking forward to your trip to the other side of the state? Just talked about that. And Barry Simon, have you noticed any buildup in the Typher 2 even after self-cleaning? How often do you use the other deeper Typher? That's a good question, Barry. No, I haven't really noticed any buildup anywhere. There's a few little places. I don't look at it that closely. I just do the self-cleaning. I've only done it twice so far. It just doesn't get that dirty. The design of it is terrific. I'm not really concentrating, and it's probably evident in the fact that I don't talk about my Amazon links. I don't keep making videos about kitchen appliances. I don't want to say I don't care, but it's just way, way too much effort to make those videos and hype these air fryers, even though they're great things. Since I've had my stroke, it's just too much. I'm doing better. I don't use my cane around the house so I can walk around, but constantly spending hours on your feet, moving lights, moving cameras, setting up shots. I'm not up to that. So the Typher Dome 2 air fryer that I have, I'm so enamored with that thing that's what I use. I don't make dishes like roast chickens that the deeper one would do. They both have their advantages. The advantage of the Typher Sync air fryer is it's half the price. And it has a built-in Bluetooth thermometer. And for that respect, this is a great, great air fryer. I'd recommend that to anybody. But the Typher Dome 2 is a dual element heating element. It has a heating element on the bottom and top, which it opens up a whole new realm of things you can cook in it, because the bottom becomes like a frying pan for certain foods. It's not very tall though, but a chicken thigh fits in there no problem, and it does great chicken thighs. So lately I haven't used the smaller one because I think that doesn't have a self-cleaning mode. It's cheaper, and I don't need the thermometer. But I'm just not up to experimenting too much, and I have decided not to worry about how much, or let me change that, how little money I actually make from all that work, showing people these amazing kitchen gadgets that I found, and then getting my daily disappointment from the earnings that I get from Amazon. Oh, I get a lot of people go on there and view it. A lot of hits. Let me give an example. I don't mind talking to you guys about the realities of this. Okay, so far this month, the month of January, it's my summary from Amazon. they've shipped 77 items. In other words, people this month have bought 77 items from my links page, and almost 2,500 clicks. So out of 2,500 times where somebody has clicked on my page and looked at something, resulted in 77 sales. My earnings for all that were $38.59. You can't say it. $38.59. That's why I don't even mention it anymore. It's the height of absolute stupidity. Same thing with merchandise and t-shirts. I mentioned the coffee because it's easy, and I don't get hurt if nobody buys me a coffee. I really don't care. I never made any money worth anything from that. If I'm going to stay on YouTube here, I'm going to do it for the fun, for the satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing some good, and for the hope that my videos eventually could possibly get up to drawing big time views like that last one or two that I did, by finding subjects to talk about, which is why I wanted to broaden out my channel from just carnivore to anything that relates to healthy aging, because then I can make a few bucks and get paid for it, which is basically, and I'm not ashamed to say, everybody's goal. We all do things with a quid pro quo. We want to get something returned for what we put out. That's not being selfish or anything. Nobody expects any of us to be philanthropists. It's nice if we are, but there's usually an ulterior motive or a tax dodge behind that too. So at any rate, that's the question about the air fryers. Isn't it amazing how I always just wander down rabbit holes and keep going? I love it. But no, I don't have any problem. Have you had a problem, Barry, with buildup in your type 2? And here we have Sandy Koss. Hi, Sandy. Question. I fell off carnivore when I was diagnosed with a meningioma in October. I tried to get back on and fail. It's not the diagnosis that's giving you the problem. It's the fact that you're an addict. When you say you fail, I can actually identify with that and imagine that you are a carbohydrate addict, which includes all sugars and grains. A lot of people think carbs and sugars are two entirely different things. When they take a dish that's all carbohydrate, like pasta or a bagel or bread, and put on the label, no added sugar, that is such bullshit and deceptive and misleading. No added sugar. It's all sugar, because that's what bagels are, and bread and tomato sauce and ketchup. And those things are all carbohydrates. So you have a pretty much 100% carbohydrate food, and you don't add any additional sugar to it, which, to make it even more addictive, that's what our food companies have been doing, taking sugar and adding more sugar to it. But sugar is carbs. Carbs are sugars. They are interchangeable, one and the same, no difference whatsoever, except simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. In a simple carbohydrate, you have a molecule of a sugar. In complex carbohydrates, you have molecules of sugar that have connected to each other, and you have chains. And all these different minor molecular changes change the properties of the sugar. That's all. That sugar hits your mouth. I don't care what kind of sugar it is, whether it's a bagel or sucrose, table sugar, it doesn't matter. Within seconds, digestive enzymes in your saliva break those long chains apart, and you end up with simple sugars: glucose, lactose, galactose, fructose, and then you swallow them, and then you start, they're already pre-digested at that point. So this nonsense of no added sugar is a sleight of hand trick. Nothing to see here, folks. We're complying with the federal government's new guidelines and having no added sugar. So we've taken our 100% sugar food, and we want you to be healthy. So we're not adding more sugar to an already poisonous food to make it even more poisonous. That's our pledge to you, our customers. We care so much about you. We care so much about you and your good health. We've sacrificed by stopping the process of adding more sugar to what is already 100% sugar. Aren't we wonderful? That's it. It's absurd. Nothing is changing. You take that nonsense about saying no more added, you got to cut back on added sugar. Yeah. How's that going to help with a sugar addict? So let me get this straight. If I eat a half a pint of ice cream or a pint of ice cream, I get a certain amount of sugar. If they stop adding sugar to it, I just eat a pint and a half ice cream because I want all that sugar. If they wouldn't put it in there, I'll buy more ice cream. So the food company boardrooms say, oh, that may not be such a bad thing. If we stop adding sugar and people need to get their sugar fix, maybe they'll actually buy more. Why didn't we think of that? The government has just given the food companies another marketing tip: how to make more profit and get people to eat more shit because they're addicts, and nobody ever addresses that as a problem. That's my biggest gripe with the whole thing, is that carb addiction isn't on the top of the public enemy #1 list as to why we're so unhealthy and why people like Sandy can't get back on the diet when the addiction takes back over. And my advice to you, Sandy, is start from square one. Go to watch my video on how to start carnivore, what to do in the first 30 days. I have a whole playlist of all these videos that I made, pretty much designed to help people kick their severe addictions like I did. That's where you'll hear the oldies but goodies. Throw away the scale. You'll hear that. You'll hear that. Throw away the scale. Forget about losing weight. You'll also hear, you got one job. You got one job. Your job is to eat for the first 30 days as much as you can. Stuff your face till you can't move. If you have to eat 10,000 calories a day because you have to get the cravings to stop. And in a week or two, your body physiology will start to change, and there won't be a need for you to have cravings because you're not malnourished anymore because you're eating all the crap that the addiction drove you to. It's a slippery slope. You've done it before, evidently. But even after years of carnivore, when I had the stroke, they re-addicted me to ice cream and sugar in the hospital because that's all they want to feed you. And it took me quite a while to stop looking for excuses to eat these higher carbohydrate foods and get back to a zero carb, which I am now. And I think that's when my real recovery started to accelerate. So I can tell you that. Hope that was helpful. Next one, how long do you think, this is DS111, how long do you think it usually takes people on weight loss drugs to show symptoms of having trouble with gastroparesis? Well, not everybody has gastroparesis. I'm going to see my fat boss today. Everybody's got a video. One of the best videos I ever saw on GLP-1 is the latest one from Sten Ekberg, Dr. Sten, S-T-E-N, Ekberg. I love the guy. He's a little straight-laced, a little, what is he, Swedish or Norwegian? But smart as a whip, and he presents information in a way like a classroom professor with a blackboard, and he's very easy to understand. And his video on GLP-1 says it all. It actually, honest to God, says it all. There is no answer to your question because everybody's different. Some people will get terribly nauseous and get so many stomach problems and digestive pain and different issues that they have to get off this stuff after a short period of time. Other people seem to have had great success with it. The one thing we don't know is after 5 or 10 years, how many people we're going to look back and could say their lives were completely screwed up by this, who had tried it and couldn't continue to take it and gotten off of it, but it was too late, had irreversibly slowed down their metabolism, had caused irreversible gastroparesis, and are having to be fed through a tube now because the digestive system just stopped working. How many people have lost so much muscle? Because that's the problem with the GLP weight loss method, is you lose muscle as well as fat. The physiology that the human body has, designed to preserve lean muscle at all costs through famines, that physiology, those pathways, those hormones don't come into play when we take the GLP-1, which is only a part of the equation. What the GLP-1 does not trigger those processes designed to make sure that you're only burning fat and not muscle. And that's why people who take weight loss drugs, they get what we call Ozempic face, because they lose so much of the lean muscle besides the fat that it changes their appearance. I think they ought to be illegal for a number of reasons. The least of which is we're so gullible that we have made a company named Novo Nordisk in Europe. We've made them the biggest, most valuable company in Europe, bigger than any company in Europe. We're sending so much money out of our economy to this Novo Nordisk, who owns Ozempic, that it's becoming a threat to the economy of this country and could bankrupt this country because weight loss is such a priority to the average dumb American, the most important thing in the world, willing to sacrifice their life and health just to be prettier and get laid, which is what it amounts to. We could go bankrupt as a country if the legislators actually make it so the federal government has to pay for this Ozempic. The dumb masses in this country, that's two words, dumb masses in this country, will fall for these emotional sales pitches. The government will have to pay for all this, and we'll be sending trillions and trillions of dollars of our tax money every year and payments through Medicaid, and everybody is going to be killing themselves with these drugs and bankrupting our country at the same time because of our increasing stupidity. And I'm just so happy that I'm old and that I don't have 60, 80 years to go and have to live in some of these dystopian futures that seem to be coming true. And I hope it doesn't really happen. I hope somebody comes to their senses. But all I do is see more and more ads for these destructive drugs. I don't know what's required. What else can you do? And nothing in all of this hoorah about Robert F. Kennedy has done anything to solve any real problem, although it's a step in the right direction. But it's not addressing the real problems. And the real problem, if somehow addressed, and if they could invent or discover a safe drug that was cheap and could take away cravings, I'd be all for that if there were no downsides or damage to it. But the way that the GLP-1 inhibitors work, or agonists work rather, they're not inhibitors, they're GLP-1 agonists, doesn't utilize all of the subsystems that need to go along with the body's natural release of GLP-1. And that's where all the side effects come from, and the muscle loss. And you likely never put that muscle back on again because your metabolism has been destroyed. We're not supposed to eat less food. There's the basis of it. We are not supposed to eat less food. When you eat less food, you get less nutrition. Your metabolism slows down to try to extend your life and make you live longer in this new sparser food paradigm. And if you keep eating less and less, which is what Ozempic does, it takes your appetite away, makes you not want to eat. It slows down the speed at which food passes through your digestive system. By not eating enough, in the long term, you're harming yourself because your metabolism will slow down. You'll burn less and less. You'll stop losing weight until you start eating less and less and less. And pretty soon, you never want to eat. You're not eating. You die of starvation because you're trying to lose weight. Once you use up all the fat you have on your body, that's it. And at that point, you probably burned up half of your muscle, too. It is a stupid, destructive idea, but it plays to human beings' greatest emotional triggers, their appearance, and how often the members of the opposite sex will want to deal with them. It is that basic. Another thing that makes it very, very, very attractive is that people get the idea that I can take this shot and I can eat anything I want. I can still eat my donuts and ice cream and eat 8 snacks a day. That's not how it works. If you ever notice all of these weight loss schemes from Weight Watchers, got lawnmowers outside. Pardon the noise. All these weight loss schemes like Weight Watchers and the rest of them, they always have a caveat that always says, you take this drug along with a healthy diet. I mean, you always hear that. The healthy diet is the most important part of it. The only problem we've had is their definition of a healthy diet is exactly backwards. So you can't win. And you guess what? You never do. You never do. The advice has been so wrong for so long. We've taken it. Excuse me. Let me just wait for the lawnmower to go by. Have a sip of coffee. I thought they just mowed yesterday. In fact, yesterday morning I said to myself, wow, hit it right this week. They're mowing today, so tomorrow it'll be quiet. Well, there you go. And it's not even growing right now, for God's sake. It's the middle of the winter. Nothing in this world makes any sense anymore, anywhere, except me. Everything I say makes sense. Makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, that's why they call it opinion. You're entitled to yours too. I think most people that come in here kind of got me down as a no bullshit common sense guy, and I like that because that's what I try to be, is a realist. A realist. If something's good, I'll praise it. It's harder and harder to find that stuff these days. So that was the Ozempic question from DS111. And managed to stay on topic on that one. How about that question? Having a co-pilot for the trip, baby Rick. No, the problem is it'll take Rick longer to get here than would to get over to Kilsy's. Rick is south of me. No, I don't want a co-pilot. I'm a great driver. My car, it's not self-driving, but it has every one of those driver's assist features where you set the cruise control, set the lane keeping, and it requires you keep your hand on the wheel. If you take your hand off the wheel, if you're on an interstate, it's using sat nav as well as cameras to keep you in the center of the lane. You could go that a couple minutes before it starts warning you put your hands on the wheel. But it has adaptive cruise control. So if the guy in front of me jams on his brakes, my car will jam on its brakes without me doing a thing. It's really funny that adaptive cruise control, if I got it on and I'm just driving and we all come to a stop, the brakes will go on and it'll just sit there. And if the car in front of me starts to go again, my car will start to go again. In stop and go traffic, you don't have to touch anything. You just let the car do its thing. And if the car pulls ahead of you, when you're in the brake hold feature and you don't start to move, it starts dinging at you. The car in front of you is going, so you don't tie up traffic. It's incredible, the stuff that they have. You still got to pay attention, but it takes all the tiring aspect out of driving, all the worry out of somebody in front of you slamming on their brakes. If you do have it. And most of the trip, until the last, say, 30 miles, where you come off the interstate and you got to get it through Sarasota into all the way over to the beach, is on the interstate. And you just stay over to the right, set your cruise control about 5 miles over the speed limit. Most cases that'll be all right if it's not too much traffic. Just got to keep your eye open. Sometimes you look down and you maybe think you're going 75, but it says you're going 65 because you're behind somebody in the right lane that's going slower. Your car slows down as it comes up to these people. So sometimes you do have to pull out the gas if you're in a hurry. But I put on some great music in that car. It's got a great sound system, and I go out of here which is tough for me, with the mindset that I got all day to get there. I want to relax. The inside of my car is like a living room. I don't ever use it. I want to enjoy the car, enjoy all the features. It's a comfortable place to be. I got great sound. I use my cell phone as a source. And I have playlists that come from the different streaming sources. And I just want to enjoy the trip. And if it takes 4 hours, it'll take 4 hours. Because I plan on getting there early to avoid the real rush hour traffic. I do the same when I go to see my daughter. I either leave at 3 in the morning and try to beat the morning rush hour, or I leave at 10 or 11 and drive over between rush hours. Got to go past Disney, no matter where I go, it seems. But I'm really looking forward to it. So let's see, do I have any more questions? No, Mike Seeley was going to go over with me, but that would have. He wrote me an email and said that he's going to drive over. He's got a new car. And he's going to spend some time, a few days with his family. That's Mike Seeley Sr. And that made it easier on me. I mean, I would love to have had him, but I didn't know if he was going to the barbecue. I didn't know if I was going. There was too many unknowns. And I was afraid I'd have him over there, and there would become a point where we'd have to go in different directions. And how were we going to handle that? So that worked out. So I'm going by myself. And there we are, back to the ribeye question. And it's 8:06, and I did it. And if anybody's looking to live stream, I will get out of your way. Still got 87 of you here. Play a little happy music at the end so you can say goodbye to your friends in the chat. Week's over. Next thing for me is going to be Saturday Night Live. Tomorrow night, we'll have the panel. Maybe I get Kilts to come on then. I'll text him. He's such a busy guy. I'm glad I'm not that busy these days. Anyway, everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks so much. Let me scroll down through this sea of chat here. Oh, there's more questions. How long do you think it usually takes for people on weight loss drugs? Oh, I got that already. Okay, great. All right, everybody's saying, Boston Danny, happy day all. Bill Cook says 37 more likes. Yeah, not a bad idea. Thanks, Mitch. Enjoy your day. Says Sandy Blythe, and you too, Donna Ray, Bacon Runner. Bye, friends. Lori Weissel, thank you, Mitch. Thank you for coming. Rick says Saturday, everybody watch Rick tomorrow morning. He starts at 8 o'clock and keeps going until we stop putting up with him, which sometimes is late in the afternoon. So I'll be popping in and out over there. So mind your P's and Q's, Rick. You never know when somebody's actually watching and actually not letting the fact be known that they're watching. Lizzie, take care. Aaron says goodbye, everybody. And the music's about to end. Till tomorrow. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.